Robert was the man whose energy kept the entire IT team going. A young, talented back-end developer, he could work for days on a project, then inspire everyone to a spontaneous mountain hike or skydive. His life was like perfect code, efficient, fast, and free of fearful mistakes. His friends adored him, and he was happy with Vanessa, a vibrant designer. They were choosing a wedding date and viewed life as an endless adventure. One unfortunate turn on a mountain slope ruined everything. Robert, always a risk-taker, chose a route beyond his capabilities. A fall, silence, and then the doctor's cold voice. Compression fracture. Spinal cord injury. Your chances of getting up are minimal. At first, there was rage and denial. Robert believed that willpower and technology would prevail. He was the best at solving unsolvable problems. Friends came every day, and Vanessa was his rock. But months of rehabilitation brought no miracles. His legs wouldn't obey him. When it became clear that the wheelchair was for a long time, maybe forever, the world began to shrink. Colleagues who had become friends began to disappear. At first, they called once a week, then only on holidays. They had nothing in common, and he couldn't bear to look at their pity. Vanessa was the worst blow. First, they postponed the wedding until things improved. Then her visits became shorter, her gaze empty and tired. One day, she simply didn't show. And in response to his desperate calls and messages, he received a dry, alien text. "Robert, I'm so sorry, but I can't. This isn't the life I dreamed of. I'm sorry." The pain of these words was sharper than any physical one. Robert plunged into darkness. He locked himself in the apartment, drew the curtains, and stared at the ceiling for days. It seemed like everything was over. He was no longer the life of the party, not the groom, not the athlete. He was a burden. Not only had he lost his ability to walk, but also his will to live. Everything changed by chance. Or rather, by his mother, who, without asking, signed him up as a volunteer, remotely, for a charity helping children. He was assigned to create a simple website. The work was boring, but there, in the charity's general chat, he met Anna. Anna was the charity's therapist. She was calm, soft-spoken, and had a sharp, kind mind. She didn't pity him. She argued with him about the website structure, teased him about poor UX, asked for advice on scripts for exercise machines. With her, he felt less disabled and more like Robert, smart, needed, and funny. They began to communicate more and more often. Anna talked about her clients and their small victories. She believed in the neuroplasticity of the brain and the power of regular, smart training. "Your body is a complex system," she said. "It has a damaged module, but that doesn't mean the entire system is inoperable. We need to find workarounds. Write new code for the movement." It was she who, having learned of his past passion for rock climbing, proposed a crazy idea. "Let's go to the climbing wall. There's special safety equipment. You'll work your arms and torso like never before." The first visit was humiliating. But Anna was there, not as a protective caregiver, but as a partner, as a safety net. Her faith in him wasn't blind, but professional and warm. And he, gritting his teeth, began to climb. First centimeters, then meters. Together they studied new techniques, bionic exoskeletons, which were just appearing in the country. She became his personal trainer, the toughest and most supportive. 2 years have passed. Robert's story is not about a miraculous recovery. It is about slow, titanic labor. He didn't run a marathon, but he got up. First, for short moments in an exoskeleton, then with the help of a walker, then with a cane. Each step was the result of thousands of lines of code written for the training programs and thousands of beads of sweat. At his first public appearance at an IT conference on rehabilitation technologies, the audience gave a standing ovation. From the stage, he saw Anna's face in the front row. She smiled her calm smile. And then he did what he had dreamed of all these years. He stepped off the stage, with a cane, but by himself, and hugged her. It wasn't the end of the story, but a loud confident launch of a new version of himself. A version that was stronger, wiser, and more humane than before. His code had been rewritten, and now it worked flawlessly.